Today we are beginning to work on solving inequalities. So let's start by just getting some terminology around the inequality symbols. Okay, our first one kind of looks like an L. That is less than. The one that looks like an L but also has part of an equal sign under it is less than or equal to. That's what the part of the equal sign means. The one that has no equal sign, doesn't look like an L, that's our is greater than. And then again, the one with the half of an equal sign below it is going to be is greater than or equal to. Okay, so there's another couple of ways that this will get used. Let me make this smaller so we have room. Sometimes you will see it used as, well, let's think. Let's think if you were going to Six Flags and you wanted to ride the Texas Giant. In front of the Texas Giant, there's a sign that says you have to be at least 54 inches tall. What that means is you have to be 54 inches tall or more. So sometimes we'll see the writing at least, and that actually means greater than or equal to. Another way they might write that is you can be no less than 54 inches tall. So those are two other ways that you will see used, especially in real life situations, to explain something that's greater than or equal to. The other one is less than or equal to. Let's say you're at the mall. You have that little cute little playground for the little kids at the mall. At the front door to that, it'll say, you can be no more than 36 inches tall. What they're saying is you can be 36 inches tall or less. So no more than really actually is talking about less than or equal to. The other way they say it is you can be at most 36 inches tall. Again, they're talking about less than or equal to. Now, the reason I point these out is it confuses lots of kids. Because notice we're talking about less than or equal to, but the words are more and most. So be very, very careful. Kind of put it back into real life situation of the mall playground or the Texas Giant to help you not get those confused. The other terminology that we really need to get straight is the fact that an inequality means there's going to be more than one solution. So let's look at this very first one. It says x is greater than 4. So what I want to do is come up with at least two numbers, or right here, let's ask for two numbers that make this sentence true. So x is greater than 4. I'm going to say, well, 10 is greater than 4. So that makes it true. 6 is also greater than 4. So that gives me two numbers or two solutions to that first inequality. Now my second one says y is less than -3. So I need a number less than -3. So I'm going to go with -5 and -8. Both of those are less than -3. So when we start talking about solving inequalities, we're following the exact same process we've been following. The biggest difference in inequalities, not difference, but the biggest thing to be aware of is our negative checker, the little smiley face. We're now going to be using that third step of the negative checker. It really helps to keep from messing up the direction of our inequalities. So let's just go ahead and start the very first one, number 3. So we're going to draw a line down the middle to define our space. And we're going to distribute and combine to start the race. Do I have anything to distribute on the left-hand side? No, I have no parentheses. But I do have a positive 6 and a negative 9 that need combining. So those combine to negative 3 plus u is less than negative 2. Okay, now it says I circle what I'm solving for and move left if there's need. The moving left is really important in inequalities. Okay, it's already over on the left. And then I start my smiley face. Is this guy negative? No, my u is positive, so we're not going to have any problems. Okay, now we're down to move, 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 and divide, divide, divide. So I'm going to cover up my u with my pencil, and that shows me that I still need to move this negative 3. So I'm going to do plus 3 on both sides. Those cancel out, bring down my u is less than positive 1. I finished my smiley face. Well, it's already finished, so that's my answer. Okay, let's do number 4. Okay, draw a line down the middle to define my space and distribute and combine to start the race. So I've got this 3 that needs to be distributed. So 3x plus 6 is less than or equal to negative 12. Now I circle what I'm solving for and move left if there's need. Okay, is what I circled, is it positive or negative? It's positive, so I'm going to do my smiley face, and it's already happy. Now I'm going to cover up that 3x, and I'm going to move, move, move. So the 3x has to stay, so I'm going to move my positive 6 by doing a negative 6 on both sides. So 3x is less than or equal to negative 18. I move, 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 and divide, divide, divide. So divide by 3. And I've got x is less than or equal to negative 6. I finished my smiley face. Well, look, he's already finished. So I have my correct answer. Okay, number 5. I'm going to draw a line down the middle. Now, do I have anything to distribute or combine on either side? No, I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and circle what I'm solving for. That whole k term is what I'm solving for. It's already on the left. Is that k term positive or negative? Well, it's negative. So this is the first time my negative checker is really going to come into play. Okay, is there anything to move? If I cover up that k term, there's nothing else to move. So I'm down to divide, divide, divide. So this is really, I'm going to just rewrite this as, I have a little 1 in front of that k. So this is really negative 1/2 k is greater than 2. So when I divide, I'm going to divide by negative 1/2 on both sides. Okay, so those cancel out. I've got k on this side, and I've got negative 4 on this side. Okay, I'm not going to bring down my inequality sign because I'm dealing with a negative. That's part of my negative checker. Okay, so I've got k on one side, negative 4 on the other. Let's do our negative check. Did I bring down my negative? I did, so I get a check mark. Did I divide by a negative? I did, I get my check mark. Now the last question is, do I have an equal sign? Well, I do not. When I am dealing with an inequality and I get to negative checker, if I've had to divide or multiply by a negative, which is what causes the negative checker to happen, I have to flip my inequality sign here at the end. So right now, I have a greater than inequality sign, but now I'm going to flip it. And that gives me my smiley face. Okay, so let's go on and do number 6. So again, that negative checker, that smiley face, the whole reason we started it as early as we did is because it's very important in solving equations, and then it becomes absolutely critical in inequalities. Okay, so let's do this one. We draw a line down the middle to define our space, distribute and combine. Now, I circle what I'm solving for and move left if there's need. Remember how I said inequalities have to be on the left side? So I'm going to say plus 7y on both sides. 7y is not a like term to negative 14. So I'm going to put it over to the side. It's greater than 0. Those cancel. Okay, so now circle what I'm solving for. Move left if there's need. I've done that. Now I start my smiley face. Is my 7y positive or negative? Well, it's positive. Now that I've moved it, it's positive, so we don't have anything else to worry about. So I cover up that 7y and I say I move, move, move. So I'm going to move my 14 on both sides. So that gives me 7y is greater than 0. Then I divide, divide, divide. So I'm going to divide by 7. And I get y is greater than 0. Now I finished my smiley face. Well, look, he's already done. So the correct answer can't hide. We've got the correct answer for it. Now a couple of things I want you to notice on number 6, because if you look at it at the beginning, you go, hey, that y is on the right side. And when we were working with equals, we just flipped our equation around. You are welcome to do that. However, let me caution you very, very much. If you're going to flip around an inequality, notice that this is a greater than sign, but it's talking about the 14. The point is going to the negative 7. So if you're going to flip this around, and this is an option, but I don't really recommend it because people mess this up. But if you're going to flip this around, you would have negative 7y, and then just make sure the point is still going to the 7y. Now, you see how confusing that is? It can be done, but it's dangerous. I highly recommend just going about and solving it the way I did in the example. Okay, so now when we turn the page over, we've got another one to solve. I want you to solve this one on your own, pause it, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so when I solved it, I came up with b is greater than 2, and then I went ahead and graphed it on the number line. I put in my 0 just so I know where I am, and put a mark for where 2 is. The biggest thing to know here is b is greater than 2. It's not greater than or equal to, it's just greater than. So since it's not equal to, we put an open dot, meaning 2's not included in our answer, and we shade everything to the right of 2. Okay, so now let's write some sentences to go with our inequalities. We're going to write the sentences together, and then I'm going to have you solve them and come back. So let's start by writing our sentences. We have 6 is less than or equal to the sum of a number and 15. So we're going to write it just the way we hear it. We've got 6 is less than or equal to, so the one that looks like an L, but also has part of a equal sign on it. Okay, so 6 is less than or equal to the sum. You need to know that sum means addition. So the sum of a number and 15. So a number plus 15. Okay, and then number 10. This one says 6 is more than the difference of a number D and 1. So 6 is more than, is greater than. The difference, need to know that difference means subtraction, of a number D, so they've told us what our number needs to look like, and 1. Okay, so go ahead and pause these real quick and solve them, and then check back and make sure you got them correct. Okay, for number 9, I went ahead and solved my inequality. Notice I had to move my n from the right to the left. That turned it into a negative n, so I have my negative checker. So please notice here at the end, I had to flip the direction of my inequality. So make sure you actually took care of that step in your negative checker. Okay, go ahead and pause it and solve number 10. Okay, the same thing for number 10 as number 9. Our variable was over on the right, so when I moved it around, it became negative. So make sure that you did that when you're solving it, and we came up with D is less than 7.